Tonight on Beyond the District, we take a look at how a referee's life was saved, a Wells Fargo policy was changed, and a young skier hitting the slopes for the first time.
Beyond the District will return in 2 minutes.
Crowded hallways are the loneliest places for outcasts and rebels, or anyone who just dares to be different. And you've been trying for so long to find out where your place is, but in their narrow minds there's no room for anyone who dares to do something different. Oh, but listen for a minute. Trust the one who's been where you are, wishing all it was sticks and stones. Those words cut deep, but they don't mean you're all alone, and you're not invisible.
Hello, I'm Emerald Cray, and welcome to TV 21's Beyond the District.
And I'm Alexia Evgeniu. Later on tonight, we will take a look at how you can stay healthy this winter.
But up first, tonight, we take a look at how a Missouri newborn couldn't wait for her mom and dad to get to the hospital. He entered the world on a car in the side of the road. Molly Rose spoke with mom and dad.
One-day-old AJ didn't give his parents much notice he was on the way.
And we make it to Tesson Ferry in 270, and she goes, "He's coming, I can feel his head. My water just broke." I'm like, okay, water broke, that's a good sign. We can still make it. She goes, "You need to get off now. My mom lives right here, get off, we're gonna go give birth to my mom's."
This video taken by the couple's videographer after they arrived to the hospital. But AJ's first picture was in the couple's car on the side of the road.
My body was telling me to do it, and he was ready to meet us, so it just happened.
And even though the couple had a last-minute plan to go to Samantha's mother's home, there wasn't enough time. AJ was coming.
I look over and all of a sudden his head pops out. I'm like, oh God, I was not prepared for this. He's pulled over on the side of the road, and she's like, "You have to deliver him." "I can't do it, I'm pushing it, you have to deliver him."
Seconds after the Kohlers pulled off the Tesson Ferry exit, their son arrived. They sent these photos to family members who were on their way to the hospital.
Oh my goodness, I just had this baby by myself, you know, and natural, and I guess it was kind of just a, oh my gosh, this is my baby, and I did it by myself and with just my husband.
Up next, listen to these symptoms. Runny nose, cough, sore throat, fever, headache. Sound familiar? While flu could be to blame, another virus may be making you sick. Mary Maloney explains in today's Health Minute.
Getting sick during winter isn't unheard of. For many, it's expected. If you experience symptoms like a runny nose, sore throat, breathing problems, and headache, you may think it's the flu, but it could be another family of viruses known as adenoviruses. In addition to flu-like symptoms, these kinds of viruses can also cause pink eye and diarrhea in children. The viruses may also lead to pneumonia, and in some extreme and very rare cases, death. Most adenovirus infections are mild. Typically, the viruses are spread by coughing, sneezing, and direct contact with an infected person. You can also contract the viruses by touching items like door handles and light switches, where the viruses can live for long periods of time. If you do get sick, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says symptoms typically last about 10 days. And for most patients, home remedies and over-the-counter medicines to alleviate symptoms will be the only treatment necessary. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
Now, an expected event turned out to be okay after some quick thinking. One referee needed a little help to finish the game.
It happened after an Independence High School basketball game a few weeks ago. One of the referees started having a heart attack.
It was pretty shocking, to have an official go down.
When they saw the ref go down, the athletic trainer and someone on the other team's side came out here into the hallway and got out this AED.
There's no doubt that the early AED usage in the CPR, saved his life.
An automated external defibrillator is something that people use to shock someone's heart. After seeing it firsthand, the school is now buying a few more AEDs to put in other key areas around the school and making sure the used one is working again.
And one thing I learned from this process too is after you use it though, we did have to get pads replaced over the weekend.
A life-saving tool always near these students, just in case.
Now we are going to take a short break, but coming up, we take a look at how one duck went to the vet and said, "Put it on my bill."
And we also take a look at how one man is bitten by an unlikely creature.
Sing a song for the broken hearted. When I shout it out loud. Broken bottles in the hotel lobby. Seems to me like I'm just scared of never feeling it again. But I know it's crazy to believe in silly things, but it's not that easy. I remember it now, it takes me back to when it all first started. But I've only got myself to blame for it, and I accept it now. It's time to let it go out and start again. But it's not that easy. But I've got high hopes. It takes me back to when we started. High hopes. When you
Welcome back. With all this harsh weather, some animals need a helping hand. Let's see how one man and his son helped an animal from certain death.
A hunter's heart. Michael Konopka risked his own life to save this deer trapped on the frozen Maud River in New Eagle, Washington County.
I said, if I fall through, pull me as tight as you can.
He inches onto the ice, grabs the deer. The ice begins to crack under his feet.
Oh, you hear cracking?
Then he shouts out a few choice words we're not airing.
Heat of the moment, it happens, right?
His 17-year-old son holding the ratchet straps with his father's weight and the helpless animal on the other end.
Definitely, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. It's thick ice, but you fall through, the current takes you down, and you're looking up, just taking your last couple breaths for a deer.
It was stressful, but I just wanted to get my father and the deer out of there. I just wanted to keep them both safe.
Slowly making his way back to land, Michael finally is able to let the deer go free, but not before asking him to say hello to the camera.
Say hi. It's up.
A frightening beginning leads to a happy ending for the experienced ice fishers who happen to see the deer in passing, and a lesson from a hunter and his teenage son to all of us.
Don't judge a book by its cover. So, I mean, if you see some guy in camo and know that he hunts, don't think he's a bad person.
Up next, an injured duck in Arkansas is able to walk again thanks to 3D printing technology. As Jaffanine Gray reports from Mississippi County, the duck can also thank some 8th graders for helping him out.
This is Peg, the Indian runner duck.
We found Peg sitting on the bank.
They discovered running was something he was unable to do.
Evidently, a turtle had bitten his foot off.
So Peg lived up to his name with only 1 foot. His owner, Patsy, reaching out for a prosthetic leg made specially for ducks all the way from Canada to Tennessee until a group of Amarel East Lab students saved the day.
To have these students locally express interest with Ms. Bell, I was just elated, and it's been a wonderful learning experience.
For months, they 3D printed several models for Peg.
We thought it was just going to be like a straight, like a shaft with a hole in it connected to a foot.
30 models later.
The very first model, it was not very good, but that was what we were learning. And so from where it is now, it is a completely different process.
Now, Peg can walk.
See, that's much better. Oh, yeah. That's what it was.
And even run. How do you feel knowing that he's walking now?
Well, I feel like it's a miracle.
Something that brought tears to Patsy's eyes.
Well, not only is it heartwarming, but it's exciting. And I'm just so grateful that there are people that truly care. And they've gone out of their way to do everything they can to make it as comfortable for the duck.
Now, a Nebraska man is speaking out about the spider bite that nearly killed him. Waverly Monroe reports.
This is the closet where he apparently came out of.
Kelly Leisure never thought something in his closet could send him to the hospital.
He got me through my hoodie.
A bite with a lethal dose.
Lo and behold, I was feeling sick when I got home.
A brown recluse spider kept Leisure in bed for 5 days. The bite nearly killing him.
If I would have been in that room for another 24 hours, I'd been gone.
Leisure was taken to the hospital and doctors rushed him into surgery.
Wait till you see it. You have to actually see it to believe it.
Leisure showed us the giant bandage on his back. We'd show you the wound, but it's truly horrific. The bite originally looked like this. Days after surgery, the open wound is at least 6 inches long. Leisure still has to have fluids pumped out of his back, and the dressing changed every other day.
They're more common in this area than some people think.
Carl Braun is an exterminator.
All spiders have venom. The particular venom in the brown recluse spider causes tissue necrosis,
meaning the venom kills body tissue.
This isn't arachnophobia or 8-legged freaks.
Spider expert Jonathan Larson says the spiders are not aggressive.
They're not looking for human blood or anything like that. They are just something that we accidentally interact with.
And the spiders by nature like to hide.
So as long as they can find food and they feel sheltered in that spot, they may wait out a whole winter or some period of time like that.
We might find them in our houses, in the back of closets, in boots or gloves, or maybe an old sweater or a box.
Because of its uniform look, the spiders can be easily mistaken. Experts say a brown recluse spider size is anywhere from a dime to a quarter. But if it's bigger than a quarter, it's probably not a brown recluse.
If you see one, it is a good bet that there are probably a few others around.
And that's why you need to treat the brown recluse seriously. Don't be shy about seeking help right away. Kelly Leisure learned that the hard way.
It took me from a really healthy person. I've never been hardly sick a day in my life, but from here on out, I'm scared to do anything.
In Lincoln, Waverly, Monroe, KETV Newswatch 7.
It is now time for another break. Coming up later in the show, we will take a look at how one girl who used Twitter to make a difference.
Beyond the District will be right back.
Welcome back to Beyond the District. I'm Emerald Cray. She wasn't expecting it, but a college student ended up raising tens of thousands of dollars for St. Jude's Children's Research. It all started with a Thanksgiving tweet that went viral, Drew Reeves reports.
WSU sophomore Danny Messina got to spend a nice holiday with family. But for many families, that isn't the case, including one of Danny's close friends.
And he's like, oh, I spent it with my grandma in the hospital. And so I'm like, wow, that's actually a thing that people do. That's so common.
So she concocted a plan. Make her friends favorite and retweet her in exchange for donations to St. Jude Hospital, where many sick children have to spend their holidays. With just about 700 followers at the time she sent the tweet, there was no way to know it would go viral.
Then I tweeted out, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give back to St. Jude, and kind of only expecting 50 retweets, 100 likes maybe.
Try again. While traveling back to school from Thanksgiving break, that tweet was getting some attention. A lot of attention.
Okay, we're going up and up. And so I got here, I'm like, guys, what do I do?
Danny was expecting to donate around $500, but was soon on the line for $50,000, and it kept going. That's an amount no college student can afford. So Danny set up a GoFundMe to make good on her promise. Just 3 days later, she had already raised the $50,000.
I woke up and someone texted me, Danny, you met your goal. And I literally just started crying.
But Danny isn't finished. Since she reached her goal so quickly, she's ready to see just how far she can go.
Next, here's an adorable story about a little girl in Texas who gets a new best four-legged friend.
There isn't a day that 5-year-old Riley Brett doesn't think about her best friend. His name, Chicken Nugget, and he was bite-sized just like her.
Look how cute he was.
He now rests near her heart, one with a gaping hole her mother and the community are trying to fill. Today, Riley's sadness is replaced with uncontrollable joy. Today, Riley and her mother meet Chicken Nugget's sister from New Mexico. Her name, of course, is Chicken Wing. Riley says her best friend from heaven made it happen.
I guess you could say he sent an angel to us, so she definitely has wings and made her way to us.
Volunteers drove 14 hours.
Miss Chicken Wing, someone wants to meet you.
To see this moment.
Look at her.
Of course, she remembered the joy she felt.
It sounds just like Chicken Nugget.
With her old best friend. And it didn't take very long.
She's a good pony and I like her.
For the new duo to become inseparable.
She does what I tell her to.
So I know that this is now a new best friend for her and something that she'll get to cherish and remember.
Just two best buds.
My horsey.
She's Riley's little princess, and she's a little princess pony, and princesses have tutus and tiaras.
Who knew a horse named Chicken Wing could bring everyone's spirit sky high?
It was worth every minute. It was worth every mile driven to just see a smile back on her face. It's the happiest I've seen her in a long time.
Whoa, 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 Chicken Wing.
She'll get to cherish and remember and all the good people and just get to share her love again with this pony.
Come on.
Now we check out how just shy of her first birthday and already a sensation on the mountain. An Idaho girl's taking the basin by storm, getting a jump start on the ski slopes before she's barely old enough to walk. Natalie Hurst has the story.
Cash Rowley is barely old enough to stand, but 2 days before her first birthday, here's Cash, already boarding at Bogus Basin Mountain Resort. Dad calls it the money moment he will never forget.
It was just really cool. It was a really proud dad moment for me.
Her parents, Nick and Whitney Rowley of Boise, bought their daughter the pint-sized pink and purple snowboard just weeks after she was born. Their goal, have Cash snowboarding by her first birthday. Pretty realistic for a dad with a video production company that documents professional boarders, and mom, a former boarding instructor herself.
When she started walking at 9 months, it was like, all right, we can do this. And then just to see her on the ski hill, I kind of started tearing up, of course, you know, like sappy mom that I am.
To get her two wobbly legs comfortable on one solid board, the family practiced right here.
Cash!
Yeah, keep looking forward. Good job.
Yeah. Carefully pulling Cash across the living room floor, simulating Idaho's slopes.
The carpet offers a soft place for her to land and get kind of comfortable with being pulled or moving.
Okay.
And with just enough snowpack in December, Bogus Basin has opened a portion of its beginner slopes. Here is Cash, her first time on the bunny hill. So what's next for Cash and her parents?
You know, if that's something she wants to pursue, then Olympics, great. But as long as she is happy and wants to pursue something at 110%, then we're all for it.
Nick says Cash may try surfing lessons in California this February, but that's also prime season for carving turns on the Gem State's corduroy slopes. Either way, it's full speed ahead for the Rowleys and their baby on board.
Remember, if you have a story that you would like us to cover,
or if you have an announcement about an upcoming event, please send it to Interschool Mail, the TV studio at High School East, or you can email us at TV21. Also, be sure to tune in to TV21 throughout the day to catch this show and Tom's Over Schools Today as we bring you stories from around Also, please take a look at our website, www.trschools.com/TV21.
Well, that wraps up tonight's show. For Beyond the District, I'm Emerald Gray.
And I'm Alexia Evgen. You have a great night.